The first time I met the woman who would change my life forever, she was holding a folder filled with photographs of strangers who were supposed to become my future. I thought I was paying her to help me find love, but before everything was over, she quietly looked at me with tears in her eyes and asked me to choose the one person I had never considered. That single moment shattered every expectation I had carried for years and forced me to confront a truth I had spent my entire adult life avoiding. Before we begin, if you believe that kindness still matters, that hope can appear when life feels empty, and that people deserve second chances, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone you care about, and leave a comment telling us what hope means to you. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. My name is Nathan, and I lived in Portland, Oregon. By the time I turned 38, I had built a successful architectural business, owned a comfortable home, and had everything I once believed would guarantee happiness. Yet every evening I returned to a silent house that echoed with the sound of no one waiting for me. My parents had shared 50 years of faithful marriage before they passed away within months of each other, and ever since then, I carried the quiet fear that perhaps real love belonged only to their generation. Friends insisted I simply hadn't met the right woman, but after countless disappointing dates arranged through apps and introductions, I finally hired a professional matchmaker named Rebecca, hoping someone with experience could see what I could not. Rebecca was unlike anyone I expected. She never treated people like names on a list or profiles on a screen. She wanted to know my childhood memories, the books that shaped me, my faith, my failures, and even the regrets I never shared with anyone else. She explained that lasting marriages were built on character instead of chemistry alone. Week after week she introduced me to thoughtful, kind women from different parts of the United States. Every meeting was respectful, yet something never fit. Sometimes the conversations felt forced. Sometimes our dreams moved in opposite directions. Each unsuccessful introduction left me wondering whether the problem was hidden inside me instead of everyone I met. Months passed, and I noticed something unexpected. I looked forward less to the dates Rebecca arranged and more to the conversations we shared afterward. She always listened without judgment. She challenged my excuses when I blamed bad luck. She encouraged me to volunteer at a local community center instead of spending weekends working overtime. Through her encouragement I met veterans rebuilding their lives, widows learning to smile again, and families discovering hope after difficult seasons. Little by little, the loneliness inside me began to soften, even though I still believed I was searching for someone else. One rainy afternoon Rebecca invited me to her office for what she called an important conversation. The usual folders were missing from her desk. Instead, there were only 2 cups of coffee and an unusual silence. She admitted that after months of watching me grow, she had realized something she never expected to feel in her professional career. She confessed that every profile she showed me somehow reminded her that the qualities I was searching for were the same values she had quietly admired in me. She apologized because a matchmaker should remain objective, but she could no longer pretend her heart was uninvolved. Then, with remarkable honesty and trembling courage, she simply said that instead of choosing another introduction, I should choose her if I believed what had grown between us was real. I sat speechless because the answer had been hidden in plain sight all along. The peace I searched for after every disappointing date was never found during those meetings. It always arrived afterward, sitting across from Rebecca while we talked about faith, family, forgiveness, and the future. I realized I wasn't surprised by her confession because my own heart had quietly been traveling the same road for months. The greatest obstacle had never been finding the right person. It had been believing I deserved to be loved after years of convincing myself that work was safer than vulnerability. We chose to move slowly, honoring both her profession and the trust we had built. Our families welcomed the relationship with cautious joy, and the community center where we volunteered became the place where our story truly began. Instead of extravagant gifts, we built traditions of serving meals together, mentoring young couples, and spending Sunday afternoons visiting elderly neighbors who rarely had visitors. Love stopped being something we searched for and became something we practiced every single day. If this story has touched your heart so far, please support the channel by liking this video, sharing it with someone who may need encouragement today, and subscribing so you never miss another inspiring story. Before this story comes to its close, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us whether you believe love is something we find, or something that quietly grows while we're helping others. A year later, as Rebecca walked toward me in a small church surrounded by family, friends, and people whose lives had crossed ours through simple acts of kindness, I understood that the greatest answers in life rarely arrive according to our carefully written plans. Sometimes they arrive disguised as ordinary conversations, patient friendships, and unexpected courage. I had hired a matchmaker believing she would introduce me to my future wife. Instead, she helped me become the kind of man capable of recognizing that my future had been standing beside me all along. That day I learned the most beautiful love stories are not built on perfect timing or dramatic coincidences. They are built when two imperfect people choose faith over fear, compassion over pride, and hope over loneliness, proving that sometimes the person meant to change your life is the one who has been quietly helping you rebuild it from the very beginning.